Hello and welcome to today's sewing adventures. Today I thought I would get started on a little series that I want to do based on a whole bunch of patterns that I have collected from op shops over the last however long I've been collecting patterns, which is longer than I've been sewing, which is weird, I know, but I see the pretty pictures and I want the outfit. I don't know how to make it, so the pattern just stays with me. But I am determined to work through these patterns and have the pretty outfits. The ones that I want to do a little series about, little mini series, I have a bunch of designer patterns. So I have a Merry Quaint one, I have a Gunne Saxe one, which is today's fun adventure. I have one that is not technically a designer one, but it's a vintage Vogue and it's recreation, but it looks like a Madeleine Vionnet. Don't know if I said her name right, sorry. But it looks like one of her classic bias cut designs. So I've got a few. But anyway, today I thought we would start with this Gunne Saxe. It is a Simplicity pattern, Simplicity 9008. And it's a Gunne Saxe with designer printed all over it. Fabric wise, I have my classic Duna cover. What can I say? They give great amounts of fabric and come in really cool prints, such as this one. I love it so much. So this came from the op shop. It cost me, I think, $5 whole. It is sunflower printed, which is my favorite flower, so I was instantly drawn to it. And then it's got all these fun pastel squares on it. And that's just one side. The other side has stripes and sunflowers also. So I have options, but I really love the squared side. My first plan of attack is to cut this, well, seam rip the sides of this. I probably won't seam, I'll probably just cut it, let's be honest. That's a lot of seam ripping. Now this skirt has some contrast band on it. So I've got a couple of options. I have some yellow, I have a purple, and I have blue, which is the remainder of my kirtle sheets. The sheets that I made my medieval kirtle out of. So I'm leaning towards this one only because I've already cut into it and I sort of need to use it up so that it's out of my stash, basically. And then there is also some lace trim on this, so I've just got some options for when we get to that. And that is basically all my supplies. Does it have a zip? I should probably figure this out. It does have a zip. I've got a box of zips in here. There'll be one that fits. So yeah, let's lay out my Duna and get to it. Well, actually, I've got to pull it apart first and then we'll lay it out. Trying to cut my fabric and somebody thinks it's the best spot for a nap, right in the middle of it all, don't you? It's alright, you're cute, I'll allow it. 2 separate pieces. I'm gonna fold up this one for now and hopefully not have to use it, and I can use it for something else in a different project. And lay this one out and see if I can get all the skirt panels on it, because I think there's like 6. And 6 on a fold, so 12 pieces to the skirt. It's a big skirt. But if I run out, I have a pillowcase. I could get the bodice out of the pillowcase. So if all I can fit on here is the skirt, it's not the end of the world. Time to see if all the pieces are in here, because this is an op shop pattern. I don't know, I've not opened it and looked ever. So 1, hope that all the pieces are here. 2, hope that someone else has done the hard work and cut them out for me, because I hate that part. Sadly, it looks like my hopes have been denied. Not all the pieces have been cut out. So it looks like all the skirt pieces are, but whoever had this made their own bodice pattern because there's different bodice pieces here. But at least all my skirt pieces, which is this pile, are cut. I just need to cut out the bodice pieces. I think I've gotten lucky and I can just, with a bit of cheeky placing, fit everything on. I was worried at first because I pulled it out and I was like, oh, the first one's massive, but then I remembered this has two lengths to it and I want to do the shorter length. So it's a bit higgledy-piggledy at the moment where I've placed it, but with a bit of finagling, we should be able to get every piece in. There's zero pattern matching with all the squares happening, but hopefully I'll be able to get everything. Alright, I have all my pieces cut out and it took me like 3 days to do that because I don't enjoy the cutting out process, so I procrastinated a lot. But it's done now and I can start the fun part, which is sewing it all together, and I'm going to start with my bodice pieces. Thank you. Okay, I have finished putting together my bodice. So, well, my front bodice, not the back yet. So my front is good to go. I now need, it's got little collar pieces which sit like that. So, and they need to get, thank you Flynn, holding that down for me. I appreciate it. And then these are trimmed with some lace. Nope, don't. Flynn just doesn't like that piece, fair enough. Oh, I need to trim the collar with the lace, attach the collar to that, and then I've also started working on the straps. So I've just ironed them in to meet in the middle, and now I need to fold them in half and stitch them shut, and there's 4 of those because it's a tie at the shoulder one. And I have also ironed the waistband bit, which goes like that. These all get secured with technically a facing, but I decided this is quite thin fabric and I would rather have a lining. So I've just made a lining out of the blue fabric, and I think this is how linings work. You make it the same and then just flip it. And if I can get my pieces back from Flynn, hi, I will start with probably the collar pieces. All right, I have my straps attached and my collar attached. Well, they're all just basted on. Now is the time that it says to attach the facing, which in my case is going to be a lining. I've got my facing, well, my lining attached, and now I'm just going to understitch on the lining side of it so it stays flat. I now have half of my front section, and as you can see, I added a pocket to it, because what good is a skirt without a pocket? They make everything better. Although I did add a tape to it that will attach to the waistband eventually, because this is a very light fabric, and if I pop anything in the pocket, it will probably pull it out in a weird way. This is half of my front panel. I need the second half, and then there is a curved trim piece that is the blue contrast fabric that goes on the bottom of the skirt. Right, the first step that I've got to do to turn this into my skirt trim is to sew 1.5 centimeter line, stitch line on each end, and then that gets ironed in so that it has a finished edge, and then it is top stitched onto the skirt pieces. Okay, now it is time to put things together. I've made sure to pin my pocket supports up into the waistband so I don't forget about them. And now, let's sew it all together, making sure that I'm not catching the lining. Alrighty, I've got two back pieces together. Now I have to join them at the center back and also pop in a zip. back piece is successfully together. Perfect zip, first go. Love it, that's how we like it. Now I need to attach my front piece. I got a little ahead of myself. It's not yet time to attach the sides. I need to make the side ties to then attach to the back before I attach the sides together. Now it is time to put my sides together. The pattern actually says start from the bottom, but I feel the bits that I really need to match up are the top and the waistline. So I'm gonna start from the top. Everything is together, so all the structural sewing is done. Yay! Now I need to tack down my lining pieces to my waist seam, so it should just sit over nicely and finish everything. I'm going to do that by hand. And then tomorrow, all I really have to do is add a bit more trimming to it. If I want to, I don't have to. That's just in the pattern. Add some trim to the blue stripe down here. It's got some extra lace. Put my trim on. I decided to only put it on the top of the stripe and not also the bottom, because that felt like a bit much, but having it at least on the top still matched it in with the collar piece. And now I just have to trim my hemline so it all is even and hem it up.